Good morning out there and welcome back on my channel. I'm Serious and I'm very glad that you're here today. Today we've already set up our aircraft here and we are going to start up the engines and depart to our destination Santorini. So let's go and have a quick look. So first of all, refueling was completed, so we can turn on our fuel pumps in there. Let's have a short look at the fuel display. So it's there. We've got 6 tons in each wing tank and 2.5 tons roughly in the center tank. During flight, firstly the center tank is used, or the fuel out of the center tank is used, and then the wingtip or wing tanks are used. Let's continue with the pre-flight or before start items. So basically we need an APU to supply the engine starter with enough bleed pressure, so we have to start up the APU. So master switch is on. We have to wait a few seconds until the door is open, APU door is open, and we can fire up the APU. There you can see on the lower ACAM display the APU page is being shown. So the APU is powering up. We don't have to worry about this. We can already close our doors because we have completed our boarding procedure. You can see here in the background the doors are closing. Furthermore, we can call our pushback truck.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
We can already set our position, our wanted position there. If we have ATC online, I normally just connect the pushback truck first with a click on this button, and then when I get the final clearance or pushback clearance, I can quickly align the position with the demanded position by the ATC. But today it isn't needed, so we can just put it there, so we can taxi out in this direction. Put enter.
Cockpit. Tow is driving up.
And the tow is driving up. In the meantime, the APU has started up, so we can connect the APU bleed. In the background, you can hear that the packs are starting to work. As we are on, as the APU power is available, we can turn off the external power. So we are now on internal power supply, and we can disconnect the external power, and we will have a short look at the parking brake. The parking brake is set, so we can also disconnect or remove the chocks. As we are not flying with any ATC today, I will get the standard code for mode Sierra transponder, that's 1000, and also put it
all
on.
doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
So,
ladies and gentlemen from the cockpit, this is your Captain speaking, and I'd like to welcome you aboard the aircraft. As you may have noticed, we are currently a little bit behind schedule, but we will do everything we can to make up
for the jetway, it's from Sam from Aerosoft, so it's a little bit unrealistic, but we have to put on the beacon light first before the jetway is departing in automatic mode. But it's fine with me. So let's see if we have forgot anything for the
So connected and bypass
before start procedure.
Release parking brake.
We should do a little short briefing today. Yep. So we will depart runway 26 left today. We are at standard 19er, so we will taxi out via Kilo November and then Alpha 0, presumably, to Alpha 1. The runway conditions are dry. We've got 3,300 meters available for the full runway, and from Alpha 1 we've got 3,146, that's more than enough. The aircraft performance is no factor today. For the departure route, we will depart via the Mimfo 1 Mike departure. Already discussed the altitude restrictions. There's nothing very specific or important about this, a standard departure. In case of engine fire or failure, we will climb straight ahead until 1,200 feet. Then we will clean up, accelerate and turn back to the field. The minimum safe altitude is 2,100 feet in the departure sector, but as we've got VMC conditions, we can maintain visual ground contact. So, for the safety briefing, so until 100 knots we will abort the takeoff for any error or failure. Between 100 knots and V1 we will only abort the takeoff for engine fire failure or not flyable or any master warning. And after V1 we will have to continue the takeoff, establish a safe climb, positive climb, gear up, and after we are leveling off, we have achieved 400 feet, we will start with the troubleshooting. So, dann haben wir das so we've completed the briefing. Then we can read the before start checklist. So compression is completed, BAV 1011 is set, ACAS is initialized. So it's as I'm flying for British Airways Virtual, I've got an ACAS system running in the background. It's already initialized and set up. The parking brake is set. Init B is loaded. The flex temp is 3.8 and speeds V1 154, V2 158 and V2 161 is set. For the start clearance we've got the signs on, beacon are on, ATC is on, so we can put it now also to XPDR. There are no switch stereo disconnect is checked, windows doors are closed and the deflected door is normal, on this case locked, closed and locked. So, let's have a quick look behind us. So there's no traffic, we can start the pushback. For this, we will simply release the parking brake.
Starting pushback, and you may start engine.
We may start the engine, so we will put the ignition or mode ignition selector to ignition start. We'll have the engine page here, and we can start engine number 2. So basically we are looking therefore that the N2 is starting to rise. So you can see here ignition, that the air bleed pressure is sufficient. We have enough oil pressure at the moment, and the startup is fully automatically. We have just to monitor that all limits are not exceeded in this case, so we will just have a look there. Now the fuel is introduced with also the ignition A, so N1 is rising, EGT is rising, and oil pressure is also rising. Most important factor for the engine startup is the EGT, so it's not allowed to go beyond a set limit to avoid engine failure and so number 2 is now available. This means we can start engine number 1. We'll just put the engine master number 1 to on, and the N2 is rising. We have the start valve open here with a pressure of 35 psi. Oil pressure's already started to grow. So now fuel is introduced.
Operation
to the
complete.
engine.
Set parking brake.
Wir setzen die Parkbrake.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
So number one, the generator number one has connected. As we can see here, there's no fault message anymore. And also on the ACAM, upper ACAM, the ABL message is displayed. So the pushback rod can disconnect. We will put the mode selector into normal position. We will arm the speed brakes, put the flaps into position 1. And then on the overhead panel we will turn off the APU blade. Ring and engine enter ice is not required today, so we can turn off the APU.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
We will check the status page for any messages, and then we can set our trim to 0.6% down. As we are already on the flight control page, we take our flight controls. So it's full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, and neutral. So, as we've done this and received our ground crew clearance, we can start with the after start checklist. Ground crew clearance is seen, enter ice is off, flaps config 1+F, 1+F, APU is off, yellow electric pump is off, and ACAM status is checked after start check is completed. Good. Done. Then we are all clear now, so we can continue or start our taxi towards runway 26 left. Therefore, I will turn on the taxi light and runway turn-off lights. Release the parking brakes while holding the brakes, and then we can release the brakes. We will start creeping forward. I will tap the brake, so brakes is checked, and you can start taxiing. Applying a little bit of forward thrust. So let's do a little bit more of our before takeoff procedure. We have to arm the auto brakes, and firstly in taxiing you should concentrate on taxiing, especially when you're flying alone. So at least one pilot has to take all the eyes on the outside to observe the taxi of the aircraft and also the taxi other taxiing aircraft. To the left hand side we will see, can we already see the sun? Unfortunately not, but it's shortly after sunrise I think, so it should be behind the trees. So let's do the before takeoff flow. We'll call the flight attendant.
Captain 36 for takeoff, please.
We can check our ECAM memo for takeoff. Put the TCAS in TARA and turn on our weather radar. So let's start with the before takeoff checklist. Flight controls is checked. TCAS is TARA, load sheet is acknowledged, trims 0.6% down set and 0. Departure briefing is confirmed, takeoff data is checked, flaps config 1 plus F, config 1 plus F, and ECA memo is takeoff no blue before takeoff checklist to the line is completed. So next step would be the lineup and departure. So therefore we have to put off flaps, turn off the packs, and we can turn on the strobes and also the landing lights. So the approach vector, let's have a short look outside. The approach vector is clear and the runway is also clear. Gatwick traffic, CBS 280 Tango, taking off runway 26 left before 1 mic departure, Gatwick traffic. So we've just give our call or shout out to the nearby traffic, if there's any. So before takeoff checklist below the line, takeoff runway 26 left is identified, cabin crew signal is given, and packs are off before takeoff checklist completed. So let's nicely align up here, hold our brake for a short second, and then we are able to depart. Start the chrono, takeoff. Round about a little bit of 1/4 forward stick pressure, engine stabilized, setting takeoff, wind flags, SAS, runway, auto thrust blue. Power is set. knots, releasing the forward stick pressure. V1, rotate. Round about a little bit under 15 degrees for the climb out there. Positive rate quickly up. And as we are single pilot and have to do a lot of stuff inside the aircraft, we will engage autopilot 1. So the autopilot is flying now, we're just monitoring his actions. So we're climbing out nicely, waiting for our throttle reduction or thrust reduction altitude. Should be come up any second. So there it is, it's level climb, so we reduce the power output to climb thrust. There it is, throttle climb, SAS nav. At this waypoint we should have been above 1,500 feet, we are at 2,500 feet, so no problem at all. So now assume that we've switched to the departure frequency and we are cleared all the way up to flight level 330 in this case. So we don't have to carry about the climb section for the moment. However, the aircraft or the FMC doesn't know that at the moment. So it's still, if we won't do anything else, it would still level off at 4,000. So we have to select open climb. That is accelerate now, as we are above 3,000 feet. And now it accelerates firstly to 220 knots. And of course we have to turn on our packs. A little bit bumpy now that we are flying directly below the clouds or in the clouds. Aircraft is turning to the right, following the departure route. And firstly we have to maintain the 220 knots. otherwise we will be too slow in our clean configuration, especially with these little bit bumpy conditions at the moment. It's really a little bit bumpy today. I didn't expect this to be this bumpy. I forgot to turn off the runway turn-off lights and the fixer lights as we already retracted our gear. Now at 6,000 feet we have our transition altitude, so we switch over to standard. And as the speed transition cleared, we can select flaps 0, speed check flap 0. And now the aircraft is nicely accelerating to 250 knots for our climb out. So I would say that I will continue the flight from this point. There's not much to see right now for the rest of the flight until the approach. And we will see you, I will see you, you will see me in this case. You will see me again once we are planning our approach for Santorini and then also for the approach and landing itself. Until then, I'm very glad that you are here, and I hope I see you next time. So until then, have a nice day. Bye bye.